to make a worthy life. JDT Islam College of Nursing Wellness Clinic is organizing this special event with a strong focus for all of us to be mindful of everyday fitness. Let us yield life to years we live. With this said, let me move on to the official session of the program. Let me invite Ms. Hida P., second year BSc Nursing student, for the prayer song.
വിശ്വമാവിൻ ചേലിൽ ചമച്ചോരു സർവചരാചര രക്ഷകനേ നമ്രശിരസ്കരായി നിൽക്കുമീ ഞങ്ങളിൽ നന്മതൻ പൂമാരി തൂകിടണേ കണ്ണുകൾ കാണില്ല നിന്നെ എന്നാകിലും കണ്ണുകളെല്ലാം കാണുന്നു നീ ഉള്ളിൽ നിറയും നീ ഇരുളുകൾ നീക്കി നീ വെള്ളി വെളിച്ചം പരത്തൂ നാഥ വെള്ളി വെളിച്ചം പരത്തൂ നാഥ.
Thank you, Hida. With immense love and respect, I am pleased to invite our beloved Vice Principal, Professor Jolly Daniel, who has always been a supporter of all the college events, to officially welcome the gathering.
Most respectful CP sir, Amit sir, beloved Sindha ma'am, dear teachers and my dear students, a warm greetings and happy International Yoga Day to all. International Yoga Day is observed on June 21st to highlight the importance of yoga. Yoga not only provides physical and mental relaxation, but also develops strength and flexibility. The numerous benefits of yoga make it a popular practice for people across the globe, especially in times of a pandemic when mental and physical health is under stress. On 27th September 2014, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during his speech at the United Nations General Assembly, proposed the idea of practicing Yoga Day. In his speech, he termed yoga as an invaluable gift of India's ancient tradition and highlighted the importance of yoga for maintaining harmony between man and the nature. The draft resolution passed by India was backed by 177 nations, and the first International Yoga Day was celebrated on June 21st, 2015. The theme for International Yoga Day 2021 is Yoga for Well-being. That is how the practice of yoga can promote the holistic health of every individual. During this COVID-19 pandemic, many people have been embracing yoga to stay healthy and to fight isolation and depression. This year, responsibility to organize Yoga Day is given to Professor Ashok and Mrs. Nitya. I do believe a big treat, that is a virtual event, is waiting for us. Yoga is a light, which once lit will never dim. Better your practice, the brighter your flame. Here, they are ready to lead the light. The question is, are we ready to practice? Let me get into the responsibility. This program will be inaugurated by our beloved Janab C.P. Kuni Muhammad sir, our role model, wonderful leader. Moreover, he is a philanthropist. and renders selfless service to society. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation, and most respectfully, I welcome you, sir. Today's program is presided by our beloved Sundama. I'm very happy to welcome you, ma'am, to this program. Today's energy and positive vibe is Ms. Nitya PS, yoga instructor. I'm very happy to welcome you, Ms. Nitya. Mr. Ashok will be delivering vote of thanks, and you are welcome, Mr. Ashok. Today's master of ceremony is Mrs. Ashwati VK, and prayer song is sang by Kita KP. Thank you so much, and extend a warm welcome to both of you. I'm very happy to invite all my colleagues and my guest students to this program. I welcome all of you. With a small quote, let me conclude. Yoga is like music. The rhythm of the body, the melody of the mind, and harmony of the soul creates the symphony of life. Have a good and healthy World Yoga Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jolly ma'am, for your pleasing words. I'm profusely elated to invite the ideal of knowledge, experience, and inspiration, a person with distinct vision, Professor Sunita PC, Principal, JDT Islam College of Nursing, for Presidential Address.
Namaste, most respected CP sir, my beloved colleague, Professor Jolie Daniel, Professor Ashok, Ms. Ashwati, and all my faculty who are attending this, and dear students, we are fortunate to be connected with yoga in JDT Islam College of Nursing as a part of our wellness team since the very beginning of celebration of International Yoga Day on 21st June. We could conduct regular classes for the students as a preparatory session on yoga, like an introductory session on yoga for every batch when they come and join as a first year student. So we maybe it was a simple step from the part of college to impart the initial knowledge on yoga so that everybody, at least most of them, get inspired in their life to learn yoga in a much more detailed way. And we have the most apt person to inaugurate this session for us today. That's none other than our beloved CP sir. He is there with us every day, like whenever we are in need of his advice. His motivation is like limitless. So I'm very happy that sir is joining us today. And one thing I would like to tell from my experience, like when I was a student of BSc Nursing, during our student period, we were supposed to learn something, some craft or some art or music or whatever for 30 hours. We were supposed to present that certificate before we complete the program. So when I was a fourth year student of BSc Nursing at Government Medical College, Calicut, we elected yoga. And I, with immense gratitude, I remember our yoga master, his name was Yogacharya Sharad Kumar. He's still practicing yoga. He has an institution in Calicut. Then one thing he said during our yoga days was, none of you might practice yoga as an everyday routine. You will definitely practice once you encounter with some health problem in future. That was kind of 30-35 years back. Then later, I had again opportunities to rewind it or to redo it on 2-3 occasions. But I must confess that until Nitya came to our life. Nitya became our instructor in JDT Islam College of Nursing as a part of our wellness program. When we started the regular yoga classes, maybe I could stream myself to a little more organized manner. Even now, I'm not perfect, but it is ignited that inspiration to do yoga. Or yoga is kind of a, it's the lifestyle. It's not that we do a lot of asanas. It is what you think, what you eat, how you live, how you interact, everything. Like man as a human being, the totality comes from the way we live with the rest of the human being. So that wholeness is yoga. Yoga is not just having like some good food or quality food or healthy food. Yoga is not just doing some asanas. Yoga encompasses a lot of goodness within it. So I wish Nitya will be able to inspire the larger audience today regarding the concept of yoga. And I wish the wellness team of JDT Islam College of Nursing will be able to do in a better scale, for a larger audience, being the example of like how yoga can change your life, make you more healthy, make you happy, and make you feel contented, and to lead a simple life. നമുക്ക് ജീവിതത്തില് വളരെ എളിമയാർന്ന സിമ്പിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്, ചെറിയ ചെറിയ കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് നമുക്ക് ഒരുപാട് സന്തോഷം തരിക. ആ സന്തോഷം മുഴുവൻ ഈ കുട്ടികൾക്കും നമ്മളുടെ ഇവിടെയുള്ള ഇന്ന് അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്യുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും വരട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിക്കുന്നു. Once again, a very happy International Yoga Day. And I thank God Almighty for giving us the companionship of Nitya, definitely through Ashok. So she could be with us, impart her knowledge in her journey of yoga. And I realized that we have a long way to go, long way to travel, and we will do that with all your support. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day and practice yoga in your everyday life. Thank you so much. CP sir is ready. Ashwati. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inspiring words. With due respect and proud, let me invite the person who always inspires our dreams, builds confidence by providing a lot of support and encouragement, by touching the hearts of JDT families and changing our lives to a right path forever. Mr. CP Kunji Muhammad sir, Secretary, JDT Institutions, for inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to one and all. I'm very happy that JDT Islam College of Nursing and the Wellness Club of Nursing College is organizing a webinar on the day of Yoga Day today. This Yoga Day is I think this is the 7th year. Is it true? 7th or 5th? International Yoga Day. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me?
Yeah, the first day was on June 21st, 2015.
Yeah, this is the 7th year.
Seventh year, sir.
Okay. So I congratulate the principal and her team for organizing such a wonderful program today. Especially as our principal mentioned, yoga is very good for health and it will not give any side effects also. So I think in JDT, I request Sunitha Madam to take the leadership of opening a yoga club in the campus with the support of all the institutions. I think this will be very useful because a lot of students are staying in our hostel, so that at least they can do and practice yoga with the experts. And I will definitely provide all facilities for that if you arrange this thing. With these few words, I officially inaugurate this Yoga Day seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your thoughtful words.
Final.
I feel
Ashwati,
honored
one
to have.
second. Ashwati, one second. Yeah. CP sir, I'm so humbled with your suggestion, and because we have started actually sessions for the faculty, and we have informed all institutions under JDT Islam that we were having evening classes on yoga last year before the lockdown, and we had participants from other institutions also. So it was just a beginning. Now we'll be very happy to extend it to the entire faculty under JDT Islam and the interested students of different institutions. As far as Nitya is there with us, we can actually do that. She is so dedicated, and sir, I promise you that we'll go forward. And thank you for your offer.
Once again, thank you, sir, for your interest and concern towards us. I feel honored to have with us the honorable guest who has excelled in her life in numerous capacities. Ms. Nitya is not new to us. She's our family member too. Achievements in Ms. Nitya's life is beyond words. All of us have dreams, but sometimes it seems to be unfulfilled, right? To make dreams come reality, it takes an awful, a lot of self-discipline and effort. Ms. Nitya is a person with extraordinary determination who can proudly claim herself as a successful person in leading a worthy life through powerful combination of dreams and dedication. With immense regard and politeness, let me invite my guru to Ms. Nitya PS, certified yoga trainer, Kerala Yoga Association, for the presentation on life or modern lifestyle.
Namaskaram all. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Nitya, proceed.
So we'll start our session without any delay. We'll get into the topic. So my topic is regarding life or modern lifestyle. Now, you know very well, in our current situation, in the pandemic situation, each and every one, is talking about life. Life is very important thing that we are just, coming across this pandemic, we came to know the value of life, each and every minute. I hope this topic will be suitable in this particular time. Hope this topic will be very useful to you all, and we'll get into the topic without any delay. It is life or modern lifestyle, which is very important. You have to decide whether life is important or the modern lifestyle is important. It is the time. This is the right time to decide the answer now. So we'll get into the topic. The same topic can be also titled as Indian culture or Western culture, life or modern lifestyle, or the same can be titled as Indian culture or Western culture. Indian culture is full of life. Western culture is modern lifestyle. We'll get into the topic. Before getting into the topic, the question what I am going to ask you is, which is the most helpful machine of yours? I think this question I have asked to so many persons already in the JDT family. No problem, no issues, I think. Let others can give me the answer. Which is the most helpful machine of yours? Can I have answer from one or two? No issues. So the most important machine, machine of ours is our own body. The most sophisticated machine of our body is the most sophisticated machine of us. No, you know, whatever machine we have with us for sophisticated life, the basic machine, the basic sophisticated machine, none other than your own body. So human mechanism is the most sophisticated machine on the planet. The problem is we haven't read the user manual. Since all the machines what we buy, like refrigerator or for mobile phone or washing machine or whatever you buy from the hypermarket or supermarket, they will be given with some user manual how to use that particular machine. The problem with this sophisticated machine, our own body, is we don't know. We have not given with the user manual. That is the problem. And my hope, my presentation will be your user manual, the user manual for how to use your body effectively. We'll get into the topic. I'm just going to tell you in simple, this is the user manual, how to take care of this super machine, how to take care of this sophisticated body. A very simple classification that will give you a clear understanding and clear cut picture of how to take care of this super machine. I'm just going to cover only this area, which is under two topics. One focus on right fuel. The second one is going to focus on right usage, how the usage, correct usage of this machine. So first one starts with right fuel. Fueling, you know, the food is our fuel. No, right fuel is very essential for this machine to perform to its maximum level. No, right, giving a right fuel for this body is the first step to maintain the body in the perfect condition. So you have to be very careful with the fuel. Whatever, how much costly car you buy, if the fuel is wrong, it will not give you effective, result. The same thing is applicable to your body. Now, this machine is have a capacity to do wonders, but with the right fuel. No, you have to be very clear with the fuel that you are adding to your machine. So initially, I'll start my presentation with right fuel. So food. This is a basic bodybuilding material. You have to be clear that without this, the base is not there. The body is not there. The body's building material is food. So to be very simply, to classify the food very simply, you have all sort of confusions regarding diet and the good and bad food or whatever you have in mind. You just clear off all the things. I'll just give you a simple 4 classification of food. Starts with biogenic, bioactive, biostatic, bioacidic. These are the 4 classification of food. The fuel can be classified into 4 major categories. So this 4 major category, first 3 thing is harmless. The 3 thing is harmless. The last one, bioacidic, is a very harmful in nature that you have to completely avoid from your diet. Let me get into the topic one by one. Start with biogenic. Biogenic, we can call the other name for biogenic as life generating food. Life generating means it will generate a life in you, inside you, in your body. So when you add more life generating food in your diet, it will generate the life, a new kind of energy in your body. So this item, the list of biogenic you already know. The sprouted lentils, all the sprouted items comes and falls under this category. You have to add in your diet at least 25%. At least 25% of your diet should be biogenic. It should be biogenic in nature, that is life generating in nature. 25% of your food should be life generating. Every one of you must be aware of the sprouted grains. Very well. You can make it in your home. And make sure you eat a handful of sprouted grains every day. It is just a handful every day. You make sure you had a life generating in your diet. And the second one is bioactive, that is life sustaining food. Life sustaining food is like all your uncooked fruits and vegetables fall under this category. So this emit a high degree of life generating force. This is a very good life generating and sustaining food list. So you make sure 50% of your diet is enriched with uncooked fruits and vegetables. It should not be cooked. You have to remember that you have to take it in the uncooked manner, that is raw vegetables and fruits. all the vegetables and fruits will fall under this category, which is called as bioactive. And third category is biostatic, which is life slowing food. Completely, it slows down your life. For example, all your cooked food, all your favorite cooked food comes in this list, which is biostatic in nature. For example, you might feel after having a lunch or a breakfast or a dinner, stomach full dinner or breakfast or lunch, you may feel some sort of drowsy and a low feel, no, a low energy feel. No, you have to take rest and you have to sit simply. You know, that sort of dizziness and laziness comes after food. That is because cooked food will always slow your life. It will slow your life. So cooked food, you can add cooked food in your diet around 25%, not more than that. You can add the cooked food 25%. The problem what we are doing right now is 3 times a day full cooked food. That is a problem. Every minute and day we are feeling the drowsiness and the non-energetic condition. We are just moving into that condition only because 3 times a day, 3 meal, we are just going for a cooked food. So kindly follow the diet. As I said, add more life generating like sprouts, life sustaining like vegetables and raw vegetables and fruits, and you can have a 25% of whatever the favorite cooked food you can add in your diet. All your cooked food comes under this category. And the last one is life destroying food. You have to be very careful with this. You know, just by avoiding life destroying food from your diet list, the many of harmful disease or many of the illness what you're facing right now will just vanish. This is my promise, no doubt at all. Just by removing a life destroying food from your diet. And the category, you know, unfortunately, all your favorite list falls under this category. All your meat and meat products, non-veg, all the refined and processed, and the items which is added with chemical additives and preservatives, everything is under this category. Your favorite coffee and tea also is not excluded. It is in this life destroying food. So herbal tea is excluded. You know, don't add herbal teas here. I'm talking about the coffee and tea with caffeine, what you are drinking, you know, every day. So this, all your favorite list fortunately comes under this category. And it is my own experience, no, not anyone's experience. I'm talking about out of my own experience. Just by removing life destroying food that is bioacidic in nature from your diet will remove 80% of your illness, the problem, whatever health issues you have, that will remove. That will be just vanishing like a magic. And as I said, all this packet foods, whatever you get out of department store, supermarket, with your trolley ready, filling it with all the packet foods, all comes under bioacidic, life destroying. All your bakery item, sorry, your favorite, all the list in your bakery items falls under this life destroying. And sorry, fortunately, all the non-veg also falling under this life destroying food. Make sure you just remove all the life destroying food from your diet. Make sure that is not at all there in your diet. Make sure that all the other three, like life generating, life sustaining, and also life slowing, at least like have a percentage. Eat more sprouts, add more vegetables and fruits in your diet. Kindly avoid all this life destroying food. And cooked food you can add for 25% in your diet. By changing the diet in this structure, I'm sure 80% of your whatever health issues you have right now, that will vanish like a magic. So this is regarding diet. I hope you will not have any confusion in your life regarding diet. No, this is a basic thing that you have to understand. How much percentage of life destroying, how much percentage of life generating, and how much percentage of life destroying food that I'm having in my diet. You segregate. Once you have a plate in your hand, you just segregate and see how much life generating is there, life sustaining is there, life slowing is there, and life destroying is there. Kindly avoid the destroying and add more life generating and sustaining diet in your plate. So that is what I have to tell you about diet. And next we'll switch on to the and as I said, no, you have to, the statistic says that 95% of chronic disease, what we are facing right now in this modern life, is due to food choice and the toxic food ingredients available in that, nutritional deficiency, and at last, finally, the lack of physical exercise. Only because of this 95% of chronic disease, what we are facing it right now is happening. So I kindly ask every one of you to be very careful with your fuel, that is food, that you are putting it in your body, because only with the right fuel the body will work perfectly. Otherwise you cannot expect the result from the body. And when I have told you the topic can be segregated as life or modern lifestyle, or Indian or Western lifestyle. So when I talk about Indian versus Western with respect to food, our Indian culture is the best culture, because we treat food as a medicine. We just take medicine as a food. No, all the spices and all the kind of cooking that our ancestor Indian people were doing is awesome. We just include all the power packed medicines in our food. We never just go for taste as like the Western food. We just focus on the system, how the system will perfectly work with the help of food. Now that our ancestors are very intelligent people, they have inculcated in our culture, but we have forgotten. We are just switching to the Western culture. I kindly request you to flip the page of Indian culture for food, which is very healthy in nature. And when you talk about the Western, no, nothing to talk, only just for taste. We are just adding Western food in our diet. You know very well, I just don't want to explain much regarding the junk food. So now we'll get into the next. Now, first we have seen about the fueling, right? Fueling for the machine. And next we'll just switch on to the usage. This is also very important, because usage is a very much carefully have to deal the machines, now how the machine is used. Now, first we'll get into the topic with overusage. Now, overusage of machine is also a problem. But unfortunately, overusage is not at all happening now, because 20 years ago, when you talk, the physical activity is 20 times more than what we are doing right now. When it is ago, I'm talking about 20 years ago. Now we have to walk everywhere and we have to do everything manually. No mixie, no grinder, no washing machine and all. No sophisticated machines in our home. No, everything has to be taken care in the manual form. So obviously there is a overusage of body has happened 200 years ago. So nothing to worry, because we are not at all using it right now. That is a problem. So next time, just with the hope that we are not overusaging our body, I'm just switching on to the next slide, which is called as underusage. So our body should not be underused. It has to be optimally used. So underusage is also the biggest issue. This is one major reason for all the chronic disease, that we are not using our body enough effectively. And when I talk 60-year-old, it is 100 years ago, what 60-year-old man can do, the 20-year-old young person cannot do it right now. Because that kind of people, the generation that we are creating, weakening human society with all sort of modern culture, we are just weakening the generation of people now, because that is what I said. 100 years ago, what 60-year-old can do, that 20-year cannot do. 20-year young man cannot do it right now. He doesn't have a capacity, body capacity, to do the same work of 60-year-old does 100 years ago. So that is a problem, because we are underusing, totally we are not using our body towards optimal level. That we can call it a sedentary lifestyle, which most of us are following this lifestyle, which I think everybody come across the sedentary lifestyle. That is, we are not like little or no usage, no physical activity at all. Nil. The physical activity is completely nil. So the result of sedentary lifestyle, obviously, very well, since you're a nursing people, very well all the lifestyle disease, type 2 diabetic, obesity, poor sleeping pattern, chronic heart disease, all hypertension, everything is a result of this sedentary lifestyle. And the statistic says that 54% of Indians are physically inactive. And for your information, this I have taken before lockdown. I think after lockdown, this I think 54 is not that, it might be 84. It has been obviously everybody is ideal. 54 is, I think now it might be 84. All Indians are inactive. We are not engaging ourselves in physical activity at all. As a result, we are burned with disease like obesity, diabetic, thyroid, hypertension. The list goes without non-stop, the list is going. So this is the condition of Indians right now. But actually speaking, Indians and Western, our culture is not so. Our culture is a very hardworking people. Indians work more, eat less. That is our culture. But Western, when you see, they'll work less, eat more. That is a problem with Western culture. So you have to decide whether to keep and go, our Indian culture with us or to follow the Western culture, that you have to decide. This is the right time to decide, because we have to take a decision right now, because we are facing the pandemic. But I just, in my knowledge, if we are stick on to the Indian culture without any mixation with the Western culture, we would have not faced this pandemic in the same manner, because our Indians are good with immunity and power packed health. We would have faced the situation in a very different manner because of the giving up of Indian culture and moving on to Western culture. I think the problem is more with what we are facing in pandemic is very more in India. So coming on to the topic next, the third one is we'll just look into the sitting posture, which is again a very vital role. No? Sitting posture plays a vital role in our health. Sitting posture, there is something called organ comfort. So you're, more than me, you know very well the anatomy of the body. All the vital organs are present in your chest and abdominal region. No, all the vital organs, which is you are doing much work for us, or available in your chest and abdominal region. And you just think of that. The organs are not fixed with bolts or clamps or nail. It is not fixed. It is not fixed in a place. It is just hanging in a net. It is just hanging, the anatomy, very well, no? See the internal organs, it is the net. Once you make sure all the organs are working to the comfortable, producing whatever they work given to that particular organ, it is doing it with full comfortable. That can happen only when your spine is erect. Only when the spine is erect, the maximum usage of internal organs or the maximum possible comfort for internal organs will happen. When the spine is not erect, your internal organ will feel much discomfort and it will not work to its best. And as I said, you can train your muscles even with your spine erect. With spine erect, you can train your muscles to be comfortable, which is not possible in vice versa. And slouching, what I said, slouching is making your spine, bending your spine and sitting. The slouching posture is a very harmful posture for your system that will create a damage to your internal organs. In turn, what is the outcome is all the chronic disease. So make sure your skeleton and muscular system is comfortable. When you sit, make sure you sit comfortably with your spine erect. You always remind yourself that you keep your spine erect, which will make your internal organs will work perfectly and comfortably in that particular posture. No way to sit yourself in a slouching posture. And the best posture to sit is the thing which I am showing it in your screen, the Indian squatting. Indian way of sitting is the best posture for your internal organs to work towards maximum comfort and maximum level. When I ask you to sit in this posture, best sitting posture, don't think that you have to sit only during meditation or doing yoga. It is nothing like that. You can try sitting down in kitchen for cutting vegetables, for watching TV. Don't use furniture. Sit down and watch TV. For using laptop or a computer, go for a land level. For reading, for writing, and for eating. The best posture to take food, the best posture to fuel your body is sitting in this particular posture. It is not, I'm not talking about others' experience. In my own experience, I have shifted all this posture. 2.5 years back, I have removed all the furnitures in my family. We don't have furniture in living room. We don't have furniture in dining table in kitchen, and we don't have table for my girl, writing or reading. We don't have any table. We used to sit down and do all the activities. By practicing this, there is a drastic change in your health. It is my own experience with my family and myself. So kindly, I request every one of you to practice in your life every day. Don't reduce the usage of furniture. Make sure you sit in this posture, squatting posture, and do all your necessary activities that will drastically improve your health in many ways. And again, when come to the Indian culture and Western culture with respect to sitting, we Indians have the best posture to sit. As I showed you before, the best posture to sit is this. And we Indians used to sit in this posture. Our culture basically inculcate us to sit in this posture by folding legs. Automatically, when you fold your legs and sit, your spine will be erect. So when your spine is erect, automatically all the internal organs will function to its maximum. So when you talk about Western, the Western way of sitting completely damages our system, the slouching. No, they used to do all this posture. Western way of sitting completely is, it will give a very, immense damage to our internal organs and health. So kindly, I request every one of you to stick to our Indian culture for sitting posture. So again, this greeting, the way of greeting, you have to, I don't want to teach you right now. The way of greeting Indian culture does is namaste, and folding our, keeping our hand near to our chest, and we used to just bend our head for namaste. And this is not there in the Western culture. We used to call it as social kissing and also handshake. You know very well how harm is now. I don't want to explain. You know very well which is the safe and best method to do right now. See, our Indians are intelligent, simply a very, superb intelligent people, because they have known such, like if something happened wrong, no, if I got any problem with disease, I should not give it to anyone. No, I should not spread it. So for that, they have created so many tools, and this way of greeting is one of the tools. No, I just want every one of you to just flip the pages of Indian culture and stick on to that for each and every activity that we carry out in our life. So the next, I just want to ask you a question. Which is the two most important work of your day? The two, you might have so many work. You might have so many work in your life to do in a day. The two most important work of your day is, so you just think and keep in your mind. Let me move to the slide. You just keep in your list the important work of your own in your mind. Let me give you the answer now. One is eating. Two most. One is eating. The second one is excretion, elimination of waste. Eating is fueling our body. Elimination of waste. Excretion is elimination of waste from our body. This is the two most important work in your life or in your day, that you have to be very careful with this two most important work. And eating, what we are in simply, to your language, normally we can call it as incoming and outgoing. You have to be very careful with incoming and outgoing. Eating and also outgoing, excretion part. Where I am sure 90% of your disease will disappear for sure when you do both of this in a conscious way. Conscious means you have to be very conscious with your plate. As I said, once the food come to you, food with the plate come to you, you just have to segregate how much percentage of life generating is there, how much percentage of life slowing is there, how much percentage of life destroying, and all those things. You have to make sure whether my plate is full of nutrition or just for taste. So conscious eating is very much important. What I'm eating, what I'm fueling my body. And the second one is elimination of waste, which is also very, very important. You have to do it with a conscious way. What happening today is, most of us, even the children, we are giving food to the children and switching on the TV, and just they're watching TV and eating. This is not this is a 100% harmful way of eating. Your body will act in a different way when you take the food in such a manner. So you have to make sure. And few, we used to have in the dining table, we used to have a mobile phones and we used to eat. So these are very harmful to your body. Make sure you eat consciously. Just look at your plate, make sure and make sure how much nutrition and how much taste food is there, which food is good and which food. You have to be very conscious. Look at your plate consciously and have your food. And also this is happening in your toilet too. No, you are just going, a few person will not go to a toilet without newspaper or a mobile phone. This is a very dangerous way of doing things. You make sure you just do eating and excretion in a conscious way. You have to be very conscious. And when I talk about Indian and Western culture with respect to this topic, Indian toilet posture is the best way to empty the bowl. The bowl empty, colon is completely cleansed with Indian toilet posture. You know very well. The Indian sitting posture for toilet is very relaxed and natural squatting posture. The other one, the Western way of sitting, is unnatural posture. It is not at all a natural posture. It is completely unnatural posture involving tension and strain. And being a nursing student, you know very well the technical terms. like sitting rectum muscles, it is just pulling. So when you sit in the Western toilet, it is just pulling, which will not allow you to completely clean or cleanse the colon. The bowl is not getting emptied when you go for a toilet in the Western toilet. When it comes to Indian, it completely cleansed, because the posture is in such a way that will pull or push off all the waste from your body, and it just will directly throw it off. Indian way of sitting using the toilet is the best posture to clean your colon. And then next topic we'll get into cleaning your body. Cleaning your body means both internal and external. External cleaning, it is superb. It will happen by its own. You will brush every day, you will take bath, you will all do all sort of decorations, cutting nail and cutting hair every day, no issues. Nobody have to come and insist you every day to do this, because if you are not doing it, you know very well, no other person will easily find it out. If you have not brushed or have taken bath, they can easily find it out. Only because of that, you're doing it perfectly. I don't want to give much important in this topic, because you're doing it perfectly. But what happened when it comes to internal cleansing, whether we are doing it, this is much more important than external. What we are doing to cleanse the body from internally, we are not at all doing it. The best way and the best tool to do is fasting. You have to practice fasting, because correction and purification level in your body at your cellular level happens only when your stomach is empty. Only with your stomach empty, all the purification and correction process in the body will happen. And you have to make sure. Why fasting? In simple, before cooking a new food, you will wash the vessels. You will not use the same vessels again and again for cooking. Whether it will be good if you cook the same vessel without cleaning every day, we are using the uncleaned vessels for cooking. Will it be good? The same thing is for your body. Before you fuel your body, make sure it is completely cleansed. The internal organs are completely cleansed. Cleaning is very, very essential part, because as like whatever you do for external cleaning, you have to be very take much more important than your external cleaning. You have to make sure that your internal parts are completely cleansed. Your colon is completely cleansed. Your colon is completely empty. You have to be very make sure in that particular part. And one thing I have to add, I'm not like when I talk about empty stomach, you have to be very make sure fasting. I'm not talking about going for a complete fast. Depends upon your own body. You have to listen to your own body for fasting. And for you need any details regarding fasting, we'll have a class in future regarding diet, only for diet and fasting. We'll have a separate class for that. And I'm talking about fasting as you can go for a fruit fasting, or you can whatever your body demands. You can check whether you can skip your breakfast, or you can skip your dinner, or having a 2 meal a day. That depends upon your own body condition. It is not completely I'm not asking you to go complete fast without a water or something like that. That will completely give you disturbance in your system. Don't do it. Correction and purification level has to happen when your stomach is empty. Make sure you can have, initially you can start with 2 meal a day and go for 1 meal a day and go for fasting. And next we'll get into the topic which is called as exercise. Before getting into the topic, I'll just I think every one of us have a vehicle in our home, either two-wheeler or a car, whatever it is. Now we are just we used to change the oil once in a while. No, we used to change the oil in your for your engine, either it is two-wheeler or four-wheeler. We used to do this. Now why we are doing it? You have to be very clear with this. Why we are doing this oil change, or without oil? Let me tell you, you filled your tank with petrol, but you don't have you don't fill the engine oil in your car or bike. Do you think will it run for without any issue? I think maximum of 10 to 15 minutes it will create a smoky fire in your engine, in your car or a bike, whatever it is. Without engine oil, maximum of 10 minutes it can run. After that, you can feel a smoky fire in your vehicle. So the same thing, what I said, changing oil, it gives a noticeable benefit. There are more noticeable benefit. It will improve your car or bike mileage, and it will create a lubrications in the engine parts, which in turn the performance has drastically, you can see the performance drastically as outlet of as in the form of mileage. To avoid friction and run smoothly, the engine has to run smoothly to its best level. We need lubricants. The same thing body too. You have to lubricate the joints. Lubricating joints is very, very important work that you have to do it every day. It is not Monday magic. As like once in a while you just give engine oil to your vehicle, the same thing will not work out here. You have to lubricate your joints every day. Make sure you just lubricate it. Lubricating will happen when you do a warm-up exercise routine, at least for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes a day. Gradually, you can increase your effort. Minimum of 30 minutes a day, you have to focus only for your joints to make sure it is lubricated. Joints, as a nursing student, I don't want to get into much into joints, you know very well where the joint, starting with the wrist, shoulder, neck, hip, and knee, ankle, all the major joints. And we just I'll just flip on, you know, you have to do movements with respect to wrist. You can do wrist movement, you know, anti-clockwise and clockwise wrist movement. And make sure movement means just not movement. After movement, you have to feel some sort of energy or heat energy in that particular area. Once you complete your wrist movement, it might be 5 times for one person, or some person need a 10 times rotation. You need 25 times rotation to generate heat in that particular joint. So depends upon your body capacity. You do the wrist movement, start the wrist movement clockwise and anti-clockwise, do the wrist movement till you generate heat, in that particular movement, joint. And for shoulder, next comes after wrist, you can switch on to your shoulder. You can go forward rotation for your shoulder and backward rotation, and also up and down movements for your shoulder. And again, you keep in mind that after doing this shoulder movement, you have to feel some sort of heat energy in that particular area, in that particular joint. If it is shoulder, you have to focus on the shoulder, whether the heat, till then you have to do it. Don't stop till the heat is generated in that particular joint, because only if the heat is generated, our lubricant juice will move and spread all over the area of the joint. That will create a less stress. I mean, the friction will be very less in the movement of that particular joint. So every day, make sure you do that particular joint movements and make sure that particular joint is heated. Next is your neck, vital part, vital area for your health. You know, make sure to do the neck stretches with utmost care. Don't do any jerky movements. Just do it very gently. Up and do movement, up and down movement, side to side. Look side to side, ear to shoulder. Take your ear to the shoulder, the third picture. And the last one is head rotation. Do it clockwise and anti-clockwise. Make sure the neck movements have to be done with utmost care. Don't do any jerky movement. Wherever you feel pain, you just stop it and do it in a gentle manner. Don't do any fast movement with respect to neck, because you know very well, I think everybody love to eat fish. You know, your mother or family members, when they cut the fish head, automatically all the internal organs will come out with the head. So make sure, because our body is also structured in such a way, all our internal organs are connected with the neck. You have to be very careful in doing the neck movements. Do it very gently, and again, make sure some sort of heat energy is generated in your neck after completing the movements. Next is for your hip. Touching your toe and hip rotation will be the best exercise for your hip. Again, make sure once if this is done, make sure some sort of heat energy you have to feel. Once you complete that particular joint movements, you have to feel that heat energy in that particular area. If the heat energy is not generated, you have not did maximum. You have just did it for the namesake. That should not happen. Make sure there should be some sort of heat energy that should generate in that particular joint. And for your knee, you can go for the knee movements. Just clockwise and anti-clockwise, standing and rotating your knees both the side. Make sure again you have to generate a heat. That is a very, very important part in doing this exercise, joint exercise. All that particular joint has to be heated. Only then the lubricants will get circulated to the to all over area in that particular joint. And for ankle, you can go dance, standing in your heel and toe, come to tail and toe. So doing this movement, the ankle dance, your ankle will get completely heated. So I request every one of you to do all these joint movements every day, at least for 30 minutes. Make sure your joints are getting heated. So that day is ready. You are ready with your engine oil. If you are starting your day without engine oil or without joint movements, you know very well the friction. The friction happens, which in turn hurts you. The back pain or knee pain, whatever you are getting as a result, that as a result of friction, nothing else. So make sure you lubricate your joints every day. And this eye movement is also very important nowadays, as we are switching to virtual platform. It is the time that we are spending in the screen is very high. You know, too much time you're spending with the screen. So I request every audience, every one of you to do the eye movements every twice a day, morning and also before going to bed. Practice the eye movement. It is very, very important. Or to relax your eye muscles, it is very, very important. Make sure you do all the eye movements, like doing it, moving the ball up and down movement, moving the ball side to side, and diagonally. Diagonally means the cross structure. So you have to do the diagonal movement, left and right diagonal movements, and also the rotation, clockwise and anti-clockwise. All this eye movements, I request every one of you to do. After the joint movements, you just go for the eye movements. And as I said, exercise, you should not give any excuse. And 1 hour workout is just 4% of your day. But just 4%. You know? It is maybe you might be shocked, because 24 hours a day, 1 hour is just 4%. If you cannot spend 4% of your day for you, for your own body, then the life is mere waste. So I request every one of you to make sure that you spend at least 4% of your day workout, one hour of workout, without any excuse. Don't give any excuse for making up your body or for your joint exercise. And I mean, this is a kind of way that we generate energy in our body. No excuse. Without engine oil, a car will not run. The same thing is applicable to your body. Make sure you do exercise at least for an hour a day. And when I talk about Indian and Western culture with respect to exercise, we people, Indian culture, we follow yoga, and Western culture, they follow some sort of exercise, aggravated exercise, like going to a gym, lifting weight or whatever, aerobic, or so many names are there with respect to Western culture. We Indians follow yoga as a form of well-being exercise. It's a tool for well-being. And I'm very proud that on International Yoga Day, being an Indian, I'm very proud to say that yoga is a gift that India has given to the world. We, India, gave the gift of yoga to the world. We have to be proud of saying that in this grand occasion on this International Yoga Day. And today, the International Yoga Day, and the theme, they have given to us is yoga for well-being. Absolutely, it is true. Yoga is a tool that we can use it effectively in our life for our well-being. Yoga as a tool, you have to know yoga, only then you will know life. Well-being and mindfulness comes in turn as a result of knowing about yoga. So before getting into the topic, I'll just give you an example. Tool, the meaning of tool, yoga as a tool. Tool means, for example, knife is also a tool. You'll be having knife in your home. Knife is also a tool that is used for cutting vegetables or cutting fruits, or even it can cut you. So as a tool, how we are using the tool is very much important. The tool, how we are handling the tool is very much important, because the knife, which can be used in both the ways. It can do a useful activity, or it can hurt you, or it can do harmful activity to you. So the tool, how we are handling is very important. So before handling the tool, or for example, again, I cannot give a knife to my child, because she don't know how to handle the knife, because she'll hurt herself, or she will hurt the person around her. Both the things can happen. So she can hurt herself or the person around her. That will happen without knowing the usage of that particular tool. The same thing is applicable to yoga. Yoga is a very great tool, but you have to know You should know how to use that particular tool. Otherwise, it will harm you. That will also happen. Don't think that will not happen. That will also happen. As like giving a knife to a child without knowing the knowledge, getting into the knowledge of yoga, straight away when you enter into doing asanas, that will create damage to your system. To put it in a simple language, yoga is like a driving a car. So when you want to drive a car, enjoy the riding, you need a car. First, you need a car. Then you have to fill it with the right fuel. You have to fill the car with the right fuel. You have to be very careful with this right fuel. That is food for our body. And then you have to make sure you are filled with good engine oil. The engine oil has been filled. Then you have to know the ABC of the car. ABC means where the accelerator is, where the brake is, and where the clutch. So you have to know the ABC of that particular car. And then you have to learn to drive. If it is two-wheeler, you have to learn to balance. And if it is car, you have to know the rules. Two-wheeler or four-wheeler, you have to know the rules and regulation of driving a car, how to drive a car. With a proper person, you have to learn the driving. Only then you can enjoy riding. So without fulfilling or without knowing driving, when you get into the car, you know very well. Without knowing driving, when you get into the car, either you may hurt yourself, and also there is a chance you may hurt others too. So you have to be very careful that after doing all such needed essential things of filling the tank with the right fuel, a good engine oil, and learning the driving, then you can enjoy your driving. The same thing is applicable to yoga too. You need, as like a car, no, don't worry, you have your own body, nothing to buy. You have a body with you. You make sure you fill the tank with the right fuel, right diet, with proper food, with proper fuel. You just fill your machine with proper fuel, good food. Then make sure your joints are lubricated. You just filled your body with a good oil, good lubricant exercise every day. All the joints have to be in a ease manner without any friction. Your joints have to be in that manner before starting your yoga. When you start yoga with the friction, when the joints are not lubricated, with the friction, if you start yoga, 100% it will give you a harmful effect. That is what I am asking and requesting you, every one of you, to go for joint exercise initially, to make sure all your joints are lubricated perfectly without any stress. And if it is lubricated, you can next switch on to the yoga with a proper person. You have to learn yoga with a proper person. The way they'll be teaching you with some rules and regulation, so you can carry on with them, and you can enjoy the ride. So before, if you want to enjoy the ride, you have to even know you can few students driving two-wheeler without touching the handle, because they know how to balance. Even without the touching the handle, they'll be riding it in a very excellent way, because they know very well how to balance, and they just enjoy the ride. The same thing is applicable to yoga. You can enjoy the yoga, but before fulfilling all the other requirements what I have discussed earlier. And proper rest. So next topic is regarding rest. So I'm going to get into the topic for you next is sleeping. Regarding sleeping. So how many of you feel after sleeping, how many of you are getting up with full power pack energy? No one, because we feel hesitate to get out of bed. We feel tired after even sleeping. After even 8 to 9 hours or 7 to 8 hours of sleep, still we have some sort of tired in getting up. Why this is happening? Why this is happening is, sleeping is body maintenance time. The sleeping time is not just rest. It is a maintenance time for your body. Your body will do all maintenance work while you are sleeping. So one thing that you have to do is, for maintaining the body in a good condition, you have to make sure go to bed with empty stomach. Go to bed with empty stomach. I am asking you to go to bed with empty stomach. Empty stomach, you have to feel the difference. I'm not asking you to go with hungry stomach. I'm not asking you to go with hungry stomach. I'm asking you to go with empty stomach. Empty stomach means make sure before going to bed, you have to take food or the last dinner before 3 hours. After food, you have to make sure you are 3 hours gap is there before you get into the bedroom. So 3-hour minimum gap is very, very essential for maintaining your body. Once you are following this, you will feel the difference. Once you are following the same thing which I asked you to do, because as I said, correction and purification level at your cellular level happen only when your stomach is empty. So allow time for body maintenance. Make sure you take your dinner and give a minimum 3 to 3.5 hours gap before you get into your bedroom. So when you do that in a proper way, within a month or within a week's time, you can get up with power pack energy the next day. And when I talk about Indian culture and Western culture of sleeping, we Indian culture people will use this mat, which is called a straw mat or bamboo. With bamboo also, we used to have the mat. This type of sleeping, when you put it in the floor, the mat, and they just sleep. Even people sleep without pillows. So that kind of sleeping, the way they sleep, the posture they sleep is highly helpful for your spine health. It will keep your spine healthy when you sleep with this mat, with your spine lying down straight. And when you talk about the modern Western way of sleeping, we used to have a fluffy bed. How much fluffy the bed, we feel happy. So that is the basic reason for all your back pain, what you are facing it right now. So you have to decide whether to follow Indian or Western culture. The last one I'm going to focus is just fall in love with your breath. That is very, very important. So the question is, without which you have no life. Life illa. So without which you don't have life means nothing. Even without all, with whatever you have with you, you can live without that, but you cannot live without breathe. That is the one thing that you have to concentrate, because this prana, this breathe, without inhalation and exhalation, you are not there. No, this is a basic, very important thing for the life of any human being. So reconnecting with one's breath is the first step in the direction of self-healing and self-realization. So you just connect with your breath. That is the best and first step for self-healing. If you want to heal yourself, the first thing you have to do is you connect yourself with your own breath. For that, there is no need for any special breathing exercise for beginners, because as I said, yoga, there is a sequence. You have to do it in a sequential way. All of a sudden, without practicing anything, if you jump into the breathing exercise, that will harm your system, that will damages your system. There is a sequence. As I said, start with your lubricating joint exercise every day. Then you can switch on to yoga with some asanas, and also with a good practitioner, they'll be teaching you the yoga with some rules and regulations. Once that is over, then you can come to the breathing exercise, what in yoga term we used to call it as pranayama. So don't jump into the breathing exercise, that will create damage to your system. So just slow down and just breathe. Just watch your breath, inhalation and exhalation. That is very, very important. I'm not going to tell you or teach you with breathing exercise today. I just want every one of you to just feel the breath, just inhalation and exhalation. I just want everybody, for the next 3 minutes, what I am asking you to do is just sit with your spine erect. Kindly close your eyes. Kindly close your eyes. Make sure your spine is erect. And for the next 3 minutes, just do breathing consciously. Just feel inhalation and exhalation. No holding, no exercise, or no fluffy breathe. Just feel free inhalation and exhalation. For the next 3 minutes, I'll be giving you some music, playing you some music. So till then the music is over, you can close your eyes and you can start feeling your inhalation and exhalation. Make sure you sit with your spine erect.
Gaia meditate.
Breathe along with the music. A deep inhalation, exhalation. Relax and enjoy your breath. Do it consciously, the inhalation and exhalation. Do it in a conscious way. Enjoy your own breath. So you can slowly open your eyes. Come back to the session. So shall we have a glimpse of our session once again? So what we have discussed today is how to take care of this machine, only with two things that you have to keep in mind: right fuel and right usage. We have come across food, like 4 categories, and the usage, sitting posture, how to clean your body, the way how to you start your exercise before starting your yoga, proper rest, and just fall in love with your breath. Means I request every one of you to at least take an hour of your day for just doing some sort of warm upping all your joints along with eye movements, and just at last you just complete it with the breathing practice, just inhalation and exhalation. No exercise with respect to breathing, just inhalation. Enjoy just to 3 to 5 minutes. Just close your eyes and sit with your spine erect. Just enjoy your breath. I think you have to follow all this the necessary things in order to take care of your super machine. And I am just jumping into the culture. As I said, the topic covers both life and modern, and also our Indian and Western culture. Our Indian culture is the best culture. It is a tool for well-being. It is the best tool for well-being. Because this is a culture, no other culture has given such a depth understanding as our culture does for human liberation and well-being. No other culture in the world is given such tools for human liberation. Only in the Indian culture has given us many tools for the well-being of our human beings. It is highly extreme important that we strengthen this cultural thread, because if you destroy the culture, the next generation will be messed up. So kindly I request every one of you to take care of strengthening this cultural thread, that make sure we just give this to the next generation with utmost care and love. Because our Western culture, very well, it is a messy one, that completely a messy culture. So you being an Indian, we have to make sure we strengthen the Indian culture and give the same thing to the future generation. It is a Indian culture is the most complex and colorful culture on the planet, because for every 100 or 50 kilometers, everything differs. The food, the way we dress, the language we speak, everything differs, but still we are united, and we are beautiful. No, we compared to other countries, with all this difference, we are united with the colorful combinations. That is a colorful strength and a great strength for Indian following Indian culture. But we are leaving our culture for no reason. That is a bad thing or a sad thing that is happening right now. So don't leave up, be stick on to the Indian culture. That is a tool for well-being. That will give you many tools for well-being. Be aware. Being in generation, you have to aware modernization is only possible with sacrifice of Indian culture. That should not happen. Along with the development, we also should take care of strengthening our Indian cultural thread, that make sure we just give the same thing to the future generation. So you have to decide right now, Indian culture or Western culture. It is a time to decide, because if we completely stick on to Indian culture, I don't think this pandemic has made this much damage to our culture, because basically we are built with a strong immunity and great health. If we follow the Indian culture, we will not be facing the situation in the same manner what we are facing right now. So again, the topic can be changed as Indian culture is full of life, and you know very well the Western culture is unhealthy lifestyle. It's a time you have to decide right now which thing has to taken care. Let our slogan be everyday fitness, because I have given the title everyday fitness for our team in the wellness clinic. So let our slogan be everyday fitness, because as I said, yoga is a light which once light will never dim. It will never dim. So I wish a happy International Yoga Day in this great occasion. And shall we light the fire for fitness in you today? I wish a fire of fitness in you today in the during International Yoga Day. So fitness fire every day. You have to have a fitness fire in you every day. It should not be off. It should be always in the off state. Make sure I'm fit every day. Every day, the day should be with energy and fitness in your body. So that should happen. So take charge of your life through fitness. I am there with you. whatever doubt or whatever future need, I'm there with you to take you along with the yoga journey. Once again, I thank, I just tell you, wish you the International Yoga Day. And yoga means don't think only on yoga day. June 21st only I'll do yoga. It is not that. Yoga day is every day. Every day there should be an exercise and a form of exercise or warm up in your life every day. And for that, I have just planned an activity. I just want the head of the institutions or class coordinators to take this further. I'll just tell you, and every month 21st, every month 21st, you have to add one life enhancing activity. Life enhancing activity in your life, and one you have to remove, you have to exhale one life destroying activity from you. That should happen in every 21st of every month. That means 12 enhancing activity and 12 destroying activity out from your life from this June 21 to June 22. Next time if I meet you, I have to meet you with full power packed energy. So for example, you can add life enhancing activities in such a way: practicing kindness every day, no smoking or no alcohol, the other side, life destroying, or practice gratitude every day, no packet food for a month, every day 30 minutes warm up, life enhancing activity, no mobile phones before an hour of bed, which is very good for your health. So such things, this is an example. You can fit whatever you can fill into the box. I'll be giving this picture to your head of the departments. You can even post it in the notice board, or anyway, in your own style you can follow. You can have a status in your WhatsApp, or you can use social media, but make sure you just add 12 enhancing activity in your life and removing 12 destroying activity from your life every month 21st. This activity has to be carried out every 21st of every month. I request all the institution head to take care of this one. And I am very proud of being a JDT in a JDT Family Wellness Clinic. We have completed one beginners yoga program a year before. Fortunately, before starting the next one, we are into pandemic. And this is a group, we have a chance to complete one batch of group with beginners yoga program. I just ask to share some experience from this group. Anyone can share your experience with very few words. You can share your own experience about the beginners yoga program, what we have done a year before. Anyone, please? Hello?
Hello, Josna ma'am.
I think we are running out of time. Kindly, anyone?
Madam is ready. Josna madam is ready actually. I think 1 minute. Madam will be sharing now. Please unmute. Madam is mute, I think. Rasak sir. Hello, Rasak sir. Nitya ji.
Yes.
Madam is not able to unmute, I think.
Okay, no issues, no issues.
Not able to unmute, I think.
Okay, you can share your few experience in few words, ma'am, for us.
Okay. So I have been the part of this yoga class in our college. It was a nice experience. I was not sure that I could able to do all the steps which had been taught by Nitya ji, but it was a great change in my life, and it changed me a lot. I used to practice this every day. Without this doing yoga, I could not start it. That is the situation. Presently, what I'm feeling to you for teaching us all these practices. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Aswati madam. And I hope, I wish to meet you all soon for my yoga program. And before that, I want to make sure that you do all your joint and make ready all your joints before entering into the yoga program. I request every one of you to practice all the joint exercise every day in order to lubricate your joints. And once if it is lubricated and it is free to move, we'll go with the yoga program. I'm ready for you. As madam said, I'm always with JDT family to carry out all yoga programs in future. I'll be there. I'll be supporting my best to my best level. And I wish to end up the session with the universal prayer. Shall we all close our eyes? Sarva bhavantu shukinah. Sarvashantu niramaya. Sarvabhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukh bhag bhavet. Am Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation patiently, everyone. Thank you very much.
It was a wonderful session. Thank you, Ms. Nitya, for your inspiring and thoughtful words. Your presence and time are valued by each one of us. Thank you once again.
So much.
We have come to the end of our program. Let me invite Professor Ashok Kumar R to officially extend the token of gratitude to the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashwati. Good afternoon to one and all. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this great occasion. First of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty for making today's event a resounding success. Next, I would like to thank you from bottom of my heart, our respected Sri C.P. Kunju Mohammed sir, for his motivational speech regarding the International Yoga Day and offer to start the Yoga Club in our JDT family. You are really a role model to all of us, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, sir. On behalf of JDT Islam College of Nursing, I would like to thank the resource person, Ms. Nitya, for her wonderful thought-provoking presentation regarding life or modern lifestyle. The session was really informative one. Thank you so much, Nitya. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our principal ma'am, Professor Sunita PC, for her initiative and support to organize such an informative event. Thank you so much, ma'am. I also extend my sincere thanks to our Vice Principal, ma'am, Professor Jolie Daniel, for her warm welcome speech. Thank you so much, ma'am. Next, I want to express my sincere thanks to our Rasak sir for his technical support for conducting the virtual program without any interruption. Thank you so much, sir, for your support. I would like to extend my thanks to our student, Ms. Hida, second year BSc Nursing, for her soulful prayer song. I'm also very grateful to Ms. Ashwati for taking the program on track with her excellent Master of Ceremony. Thank you so much, Ashwati. Finally, I extend my thanks to my colleagues, my friends, office staffs, and my dear students for their support and participation. Once again, I thank each and everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. On this occasion, let us strive for a healthier life than a modern life. The regular practice of yoga is truly the key to living a healthier and happier life. In addition to this, A regular practice of yoga inspires a person to become more aware of their choices, help them lead a more running one, and encourages them to be more content with whatever they have. Incorporating it into your routine can help enhance your health, increase strength and flexibility, and reduce the symptoms of stress, depression, and anxiety. In short, for many of us, the modern lifestyle and the stress it causes affects our physical, psychological, and social health. Hence, it has become vital to understand the relationship and maintain the right balance. Once again, thank you, everyone.